like I said, I never had homeless life until about over 2 years ago. Once my sister passed, I noticed I was spinning out of control because I was lost. I'm born and raised here in Wai'anae. I graduated 1977 in Wai'anae. We go back and forth to Makiki because my grandfather had a land, and that's where we built a little something. After my parents and my sister was gone 2 years ago, was the last one, I was having a hard time grip. I was living in my car, and then I would go back home to my grandfather's place where my son with the addiction. See, I've tried for 7 years or more to help him, to get him into a program. And unconditional love that I have, I chose. I don't want to kick him out on the street because it's dangerous. So I told him, Mommy, go out. And he didn't like it. And I tried, and then when come nighttime, I scaredy cat. So I go drive to the street of where my house is. And then I was just getting too much. So I used to go to Ala Moana Beach Park. And one day, must have been something that God intervened. I was ready to gas my car into the alawai. One of the psychiatrists from Comprehensive, she called just that moment. I just turned my car on. And she says, "Are you okay?" I never met this lady. And I'm an honest person, and I was telling her what I'm going to do. She told me, I give you 30 minutes to get to Queens Kekela Ward. Admit yourself. If not, she's going to call the policeman to meet me over there at the parking lot. So I did. And when I went in, they evaluate. She said, "Mrs. Kello, I don't see nothing wrong with you." And in my heart, I knew, because I was saddened. I never like stay. What am I going to be here for? I have a child, but he has an addiction. Anyway, so I started seeking, following the program until I came here. You know, when I started to get into program, because before I came in here, I started already applying at different housing on my own, because I never did those things. I never did rent anywhere else but my papa's house or my mama's house in Miley. So I didn't know what that whole rental stuff was all about. Really interesting. And what captures my heart is there's others out there that have nobody. Who helps them? When I came in here and I started to learn about what the case manager is about, I was getting a little bit of more hope for me and for the ones that I think don't have nobody. So, you know, living out there, I never experienced when they tell me they lived out there for years. I never had that. So I can only imagine, but I cannot say I understand because I never walked it. But I'm grateful to be in here because it gives me a safe place to put my head down and rest. It gives us meals, and it gives us programs, classes, assistance when it's needed. So for that, I'm really appreciative. I did the housing, I did all the classes that they had offered. Several of the classes, because it was so intense, like that one-on-one housing, I repeated it about 6 times because every time I went, there was something new that I can write it on. One of the studio back here in Ala place called me and I have a chance. Anyway, so they had been so grateful and they've been hustling to make it happen. So they still inquiring in different places for the deposit and the rent because they would grant me the last 30% at their place. Now that was joyful because instead of I paying $994, I'm only going to be paying $551. So I was grateful. So I had approached them and I said, please, can you please try and help me because I don't want to lose it because I can't afford the first month rent and the deposit. You know, I never lived on this side of life. This is my first round. And you know, honestly, when I outside and I see people that no more place to stay, I was like, oh, poor thing, but I don't know till they came here. Knowing each and every one of us, we have a different journey. And so now I look at us homeless or out there on the street different. I'm a Wai'anae girl. I stayed with my grandpa or my mom all my life. We come back and forth. But when I came in here, it's like the circle completed because I was born and raised here. So this shelter that came in place, I was sitting at the beach and that came to my mind and I said, God, I thank you because did you leave this shelter open for when I needed to come into my hometown? I have some place to be. That's how I looked at it. Back
up, and so we have a bell here on site that we use as you ring yourself out of sight and into your new home. And then they're going to transport and you're going to do your bell, your key and glass. I know we're all emotional. We're so excited because I remember every single class. Yeah. So we want you to take the moment to ring your bell. Now? Yes. Yes. Everybody.
Thank you, God. Yes, and I thank you and I get my own plate. And it's so wonderful. I mean, there's a goods and bads that are here, but it depends. If they're willing, they can do it. Yeah. No give up. Yeah. No give up. Take baby steps as long as you step in. Because when you lay down, you're not going nowhere. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to start.